Good morning, Grade 4s. We start today with Lesson 4 of Lockdown. But before we do, I want to just revise what we have learned so far. Everything around us is made up of matter. There are 3 types of matter: solids, liquids, and gases. These are called the states of matter. All matter is made up of particles, which are so small they are microscopic. We need a microscope to see these particles. The particles of a solid are tightly packed together, allowing the solid to have a fixed shape. The particles of a liquid are further apart, allowing them to flow and take the shape of the container they are in. The particles of a gas are very far apart, so gas is invisible and the particles float about. Today's lesson we focus on just solid materials. We look at raw and manufactured materials. When I talk about materials, I don't mean the material that your clothes are made out of. I mean solid matter. For example, the chair you are sitting on, the paper you are going to write on, your pencil. Any solid matter can be either a raw or a manufactured material. Let's go through what this means, and I'm reading from your notes. Raw materials are when a material is in its natural state. It comes from the natural environment and has not yet been processed or changed into something else. There are many ways to change a raw material into useful materials. Factories are built to change raw materials into these useful materials. Manufactured materials. Very often, raw materials are not useful in their raw or natural form. Raw materials are changed or processed to create other useful materials. We call these materials manufactured or made materials. Basically, you can decide if a material is raw or manufactured by asking yourself the question: can I find this naturally in the environment, or does it have to be made? For example, the chair you are sitting on. Can you find a chair like that in the veld? No, it has to be made from wood or plastic. So this tells us the chair is a manufactured material, and the raw material would be the wood. Let's look at the pictures on the first slide. Under the raw material column, clay is a type of soil. The picture shows a man in a pit digging out the clay to make pottery. Clay is also used to make china. And by that I don't mean China, the big country in the east, but the china teacups and mugs we drink out of, the plates and bowls we use for food. These are made out of china, which is a type of clay used to make those items. Oil and coal are raw materials mined from underground. This is used to make many things. All plastic objects, paints, car tires, erasers, and fuel for cars. It will take me too long to explain all these processes now, but you will read more about this in your textbook. Please turn to the next slide. On this slide, we can see that wood is a raw material. Wood is used to make many manufactured products: chairs, paper, pencils, desks, furniture, houses, fences, to mention just a few. Sand is the raw material used to make glass. Remember from our last lesson, we learned that if you heat a solid, the particles move faster and faster, and it can change into a liquid. Well, not all solids melt into a liquid, some burn. But sand, if you heat it to a high enough temperature, will melt into a liquid. When this liquid cools, it becomes glass. I have put YouTube videos or links for you to watch if you're able to. The next raw material is cotton. Cotton is the flower of the cotton plant. It's not the cotton wool balls that you can buy in the shop. That is something else. This cotton is spun into thread and made into clothing, like your school shirts and dresses. If you go to page 90 of your textbook, you can see more pictures of cotton plants. Wool from a sheep is the raw material. This wool is spun into yarn and then knitted into jerseys, scarves, gloves, beanies, etc. Grade 4s, I want to explain to you the difference between wool and cotton, as many of you get confused by this. Cotton makes clothes like shirts and dresses, but wool makes jerseys and scarves. To help you remember this, wool from sheep makes the clothes to keep us warm in winter. So remember the W for wool and warm and winter. And cotton keeps us cool in summer. So remember the K for cotton and cool clothes for summer. The last raw material I want to discuss is cowhide. This is the skin of a cow that is specially treated and made into leather. Leather is made into shoes, belts, bags, jackets, gloves, etc. Now please read the textbook pages and answer activity 1 on page 94 and activity 2 on page 97. Please do this on paper so we can stick it in your book when we get back to school. When you have finished, please turn to slide 3. On slide 3, we look at properties of materials. This section can be a bit tough to understand. The most important thing to remember about the property of a material is that the property is the reason that this material was used to make the manufactured product. Properties of a material help determine how it is used. As we go through the examples, it will become clearer. Let's look at our first property, hardness. Is the material soft or hard? We can test how hard a material is if we can easily scratch, cut, or dent it. The wax of a candle you can scratch, so it is soft. A piece of wood is harder. It is not so easy to bend or dent. The wood of a desk is hard. A jersey is soft, so it is comfortable to wear. A desk needs to be hard so you can press on it when you write. If a desk was made out of wool, do you think it would work? No, you would not be able to press on it to work. The same way a jersey is made out of soft wool, to be comfortable. I don't think you'd want to wear a jersey made out of wood. Our next property is flexibility. Is the material stiff or flexible? That means, can the material bend? A wooden ruler is stiff, but a plastic ruler is flexible. A cricket bat or hockey stick is stiff, so you can use it to hit a ball. A hairband needs to be flexible to tie your hair up. A scarf needs to be flexible too, to wrap around your neck. Then we move on to toughness. Is the material strong or weak? How much force do you need to break it? A rope is strong. A piece of cotton is weak. Weight. Is the material light or heavy? A wooden desk is heavy. A plastic chair is light. A paperweight is heavy to stop paper blowing away. A ball is made out of light material so it can be thrown or kicked. Can you imagine if a soccer ball was made out of a heavy stone? I don't think that would make your toes very happy when you kicked it. Absorbency means, is the material able to absorb water or is it waterproof? A raincoat is waterproof. A sponge is able to absorb water. If your raincoat was made out of sponge, you wouldn't stay dry at all. And if your sponge in the bath was made out of waterproof material, it wouldn't make nice soap suds to wash you properly. Strength in tension. This means, is the material able to stretch? How hard do you need to pull the material before it breaks? An elastic will stretch, a stick won't. An elastic needs to be able to stretch to go around things. A tape measure can't be made out of a stretchy material because then the measurements wouldn't be correct. Please turn to slide 4 and complete the table on the different properties on materials. The balloon has been done for you. A balloon is soft. It is weak, so it pops easily. It is not absorbent, but it is flexible. This allows the balloon to expand as you blow it, and the balloon is light. Please complete the table on a piece of paper so we can stick it in when we get back to school. Please keep all these papers safe in your flip file so they don't get lost. I miss you all stacks, and I really hope I see you again soon.